Hi friends, I know this is a bit weird for a vlog because I'm sat in my set, but this idea for the positivity segment actually came to me as I was preparing to film a video and I was scrolling through Twitter. Which, side note, if you want to follow me on Twitter, my handle is in the description box down below. So what I want to talk about this week for the positivity segment is cancel culture. So for those of you who don't know what cancel culture is, it's the idea of when something is posted online, specifically something creative, a book series, a movie, a TV show, or a celebrity has said something years ago and it gets dredged back up, and it's attacking someone or something for something that they're creating, working on, or have said in the past. A good example of cancel culture is the new Aladdin movie that's coming out this year by Disney, and it surrounds Will Smith as the genie. So a lot of people disagree with Will Smith being cast and don't like the way the genie looks. Now, the internet gives us loads of anonymity. We can use a fake name, a fake picture, a fake bio. We can be someone other than ourselves. This means that cyberbullying and cancel culture are really easy because we can say whatever we want without getting any repercussions. So what this means with cancel culture is people are actively attacking the directors of the movie or Will Smith himself. They are attacking these people for things that they don't like. And I'm not talking about political or social issues, which I agree we do need to stand up for. I'm talking about actively insulting and attacking Will Smith because of the way the CGI looks in the movie. Something he has no control over. Maybe he himself agrees with you that it's not nice, and yet he is being attacked for it by millions of people with no names and no faces. A lot of people struggle to see the problem with cancel culture. They say, but I'm just saying what I want to say. I'm saying what I think. Surely I'm allowed to express myself and my opinion. And yes, you are allowed to express yourself and your opinion up to a point. If what you're saying isn't going to benefit anyone, isn't going to help anyone, and it's just to tear people down, why are you saying it? Think of it like this. You walk into a room where someone you don't know is exposing some of their paintings. In this room, there's the creator, the painter, this person that you have never met or seen before and who vice versa has never met or seen you before. There's also their family, their friends, and loads of other strangers that nobody knows and has any connection with. You walk in and see a couple paintings you like, but one you really don't like. In this scenario, you then walk up purposefully to the creator and say to their face, that painting over there, that specific one, is disgusting. It's horrible. Why would you paint that? You should remove it immediately. Picture yourself doing that and see how horrible it is and why it has no merit. If you're posting these things and thinking, well, I should be posting them because people need to know my opinion, do you realize how entitled I just sounded saying that? Because that's how it comes across. And obviously I know people are going to turn this argument around on me and I'm sounding very entitled saying this, and a part of me is, and I accept that and I'm trying to work on it. When you're attacking an actor for a role that they chose for no other reason than you don't want them in that role, how is that helping anybody? How is that helping make other people happy and therefore yourself happy? It's been shown that having arguments online or otherwise just spreading hate and negativity actually makes you an angrier person and a sadder person. You don't bond over hating stuff. You bond when you find someone else who loves something the way you do. There's another concept I want to talk about, which is QTIP. Quit taking it personally. This is something a few people I know are aware of, but not many people seem to be aware of, or at least they pretend they're not aware of it. The idea behind QTIP, or quit taking it personally, is exactly that. Quit taking things personally. Just because you don't agree with the way the genie looks doesn't mean you need to be attacking people or taking it as a personal attack where you need to defend yourself against it. If the live action genie doesn't look the way you wanted it to, that's okay, that's gonna happen. Literally not everyone on the planet is gonna be happy with how it looks. But do you need to be attacking the directors or the actor for it? Or maybe should you just say, well, that's not how I pictured it and I don't think I'm gonna see the movie because of that. And then that's it, move on with your life. No one forces you to see a new movie as it comes out or to read a new book that's just come out or anything like that. It's your choice. And if you're not happy with something, you don't have to go see it. In fact, This is the best way to tell that company or that creator that you're not happy with something. Don't give them your money. That's how companies work. If they create a product and it gets money, they're going to keep making that product. If they create a product and it doesn't get money, they're not going to keep making that product. And with cancel culture, if they create that product and a bunch of people start yelling and screaming with no actual valid points, and the product makes money, they're just going to keep making the product anyway and just deal with the angry people. Remember, when you're saying something online, what is the goal of the thing you're saying? Are you saying something that's productive, that's kind, that's going to help other people? Or are you saying something mean? Now, you can be productive and helping other people while still saying a negative comment, of course. But saying, I don't like the way Will Smith looks as the genie, isn't productive or helpful in any way. Your opinion obviously matters, but it doesn't matter to the point that you have to attack other people for it. I hope you can see the distinction between saying what you're thinking and attacking others for what you're thinking. As a last example of the two differences between these, if you really want to give your opinion on something and you know it's negative and it's not helpful, why do you want to say it? Do you just want to say it to be different, to stand out? Or is there an actual goal? And what is your goal? Because if your goal is to tear down someone else or someone's creation, then just don't do it. Again, obviously a lot of this is my opinion on cancel culture, and therefore I understand that some people may turn the argument around and say, but that's what you're saying? You're cancelling people who want to do cancel culture? And yeah, I am, but my goal with this is to make the internet a slightly nicer place to be on. There's already so much negativity and horrible stuff happening online. Do we really need to add any more with cancel culture? So remember, next time you have something to say, just think, is this beneficial? Is this going to help someone? Is this productive? And is this kind? And more importantly, what is your goal with this?
So I just went to the bedroom and this is what I found.
We have a nap. Hello.
Hello.
I'm having a nap.
It's very dark because of the
camera's like right up in my face.
because otherwise the contrast's wrong with the blind open.
What? I'm not allowed to have a nap?
Nanny seems to think a nap is a good idea.
She always thinks a nap's a good idea. So yesterday, so Saturday for us, on my Discord server, people were talking about their dogs and the kind of stuff that their dogs have gotten up to, and it got Ben and I to talking about, a couple years ago we went to Crufts, which if you don't know is a huge dog show in the UK, and we had quite the weekend.
Yeah.
So it started off the day we were supposed to fly out to Birmingham. We get to the airport and we booked our tickets, what, 3 months in advance?
Something like that, yeah.
So about 3 months in advance, and we get to the check-in counter and the check-in lady says, oh, there's no more room on the flight. You can't get on the plane. So we booked our tickets 3 months in advance, and there was a lot of room when we booked. It was not even half full.
Yeah.
Only to be told, we're not getting on this flight. And the next flight was the next day, which means we would have ended up missing basically the whole first day of Crufts, or something like that.
Yeah.
And we'd paid for the tickets to go to this dog show. Nanny. So like we were less than pleased with the fact that they overbook flights, and apparently this is very typical that they will overbook a flight. Ugh. So overbook a flight because a lot of people just don't show up to flights, or like cancel their trip or late, and so if they overbook, like the flight stands up full but they get more money from doing it that way, but like we were very unhappy with them.
Yeah.
So she told us to go to the boarding, like the gate boarding area, and hopefully there'll be some seats for us. And so we end up going there, and it's like 6 in the morning, and we're cranky and tired and cold and stressed, and we ended up waiting about an hour and a half. Like they were about to start boarding when finally the stewardess says, actually there are 2 seats, but they're at 2 different ends of the plane. Is that okay? And we said, like, nope, that's not okay, because we paid for these tickets together. Sorry, Nanny's being a pain. We paid to sit together, and we paid for them 3 months ago, and like we weren't very happy, but they managed to rearrange the flight so that we could sit together. And so we think, you know, all our problems are solved, and we get to Birmingham, and we get to our hotel, and done. And yeah, the hotel was a bit run down, and it was a relatively cheap hotel. It was nothing special, so we were expecting it to be a bit run down. But it was a bit worse than we were expecting, I think. But anyway, there's like a security door to get in, so the reception has to like buzz you in, which was really nice because it felt really safe. And we get to the hotel, we get to our room, we unpack, we visit Birmingham for a bit. We go back that night, we go to bed, and then we wake up the next morning.
Yeah, like 5:36, something
Yeah,
like
we woke up around 5 a.m. and we shower, and then we're both sat on the bed, and then at the same time we turn our heads, and a mouse ran along the floor of our bedroom, and then we both turned back to our computers, and it was really like in a like cartoon, like we see the mouse, we both turn back to our computers, and then we look at each other. And
like a few seconds later. Like
yeah, it took a while for it to click. We're like, did you just see a mouse like running in our room? And so I went down to reception to talk to them about the mouse in our room, and I get to the reception area, and remember the reception door like to the outside is locked. The receptionist has to buzz you in, and so the reception is there 24/7. There's always somebody there, and there was someone there. They were asleep. So I walk in and notice they're asleep, so I walk back out and then walk back in and slam the door on my way in, and that kind of wakes them up. And they're like, whoa, oh, hello, how are you? And I said, I'm not okay. And I said, why? And I said, there's a mouse in my room. And he looked at me in the eye and went, you're kidding. I said, do I look like I'm kidding? It's 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning and there's a mouse in my room. And he pauses and goes, well, that's not good. And then we ended up having to go to the competition.
Yeah, because like it was about to start.
It was about to start, and we didn't have time to like organize changing hotels because we weren't obviously going to stay at that hotel because the gaps under the door were big enough for the mouse to be able to like leave our room and go into different rooms. So like there might be more mice running around. So even if we change rooms, the mice might find us.
Yeah.
So then you had to stay on the phone for most of the morning organizing.
Yeah, so the hotel was in charge of finding us another hotel.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And yeah, so had to do a couple phone calls with them there and back to try to organize the new hotel.
Yeah, and then it was lunch. And so for those of you who don't know Crufts, there's like loads of different halls. And the dogs are being shown in most of the halls. Nanny, stop it. She's annoying. And then there's one main area, which is like the main arena where they do like the agility competition. So where you see like the dogs like running around and like doing the jumps and the zigzags and stuff like that. And it's a really nice place to sit. And so we decided we'd sit there to have lunch. And so in Crufts, each day they have certain sets of breeds that they show. So they have like the Hound Day, which is like all the like hunting dog types, and they have the Terrier Day, which is all like the terrier types, and terriers are bred to chase and kill mice and rats. And it happened to be Terrier Day on the day we were there. And we sit down for our lunch, which we'd bought the night before and had stayed in Ben's backpack overnight. And you bring out the sandwiches, and my sandwich was in like a little cardboard box, and the corner had been little chewed off, and a little part of my sandwich had been eaten.
Yeah, and we hadn't taken them out of the backpack when we were in the hotel, so that means the mouse had gone in the backpack and
ate my sandwich.
Yeah, the thing is, when we got to Crufts and realized that we didn't know if the mouse was still in the backpack or not, and so we scared we had potentially released the mouse in Crufts on the day where the terriers were there.
Where there's like 900 dogs bred to hunt down and kill mice. So we were worried. Admittedly, we were definitely worried we just released the mouse. But there was no chaos and mayhem, so apparently we hadn't released the mouse.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
If we did, it got killed so quickly.
It got killed very quickly, and therefore we didn't notice. And the hotel did manage to change us. We ended up in a different hotel. It was much nicer, much like more expensive, which was nice that we didn't have to pay for that. And we didn't have any other issues for the other days we were there.
No.
Until the day we left.
Yeah, because the flight was super early.
The flight was at like 6. So we had to get up at 4 to get to the airport for like 4:30, 5ish.
Yeah.
No, the flight was at 7.
Yeah.
And so we get to the airport at like 5:30 to have enough time. And it's a small regional airport. Like Birmingham's a relatively like small town. Like it's not London. So there was a really small regional airport to get a flight back to Brussels. And we get there and everything's closed. Like even the security isn't open yet.
Yeah.
You're stuck in like the first main entrance area. And like all the restaurants are closed. And we'd plan on having breakfast at the airport, and I'm really weird. If I don't eat within a few hours of getting up, I feel sick for the rest of the day. And so the plan was like we get up just in time to get to the airport, and then we get breakfast before I start feeling sick. But we didn't realize that like the airport wasn't open until 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
So we ended up waiting with a bunch of other passengers for half an hour,
Yeah.
just milling around doing nothing. Nothing was open. For them to open security, and then we can get through security. And once we got through, some of the restaurants were opening slowly.
Yeah, yeah.
So we did manage to have breakfast in the end, but we had breakfast at like 6:30, and we'd been up since 4. So I felt sick all day, which was not fun, especially having to fly home. And we were tired because you end up walking a lot at these like convention centers. So we walked, what was it, like 20, 30 kilometers every day for 3
we did
days.
a lot of walking.
It was intense, and it was an insane weekend. Like, we got home with no issues.
Yeah.
I think. No, there was nothing.
No, on the way back.
But like, yeah, we almost didn't make it on the flight on the way there, and then we had the mouse situation.
Yeah.
And then the food situation on the last day. So it was a chaotic weekend, but it was a lot of fun.
It was.
It was a lot of fun. So today is Easter Sunday, and Ben and I aren't religious, so we don't celebrate Easter in that sense. Like, we celebrate chocolate eggs. We do celebrate that side of Easter. We don't celebrate like the religious side, but we still both have the day off, mainly because I very rarely work on Sundays. I obviously work from home and choose my own hours, and so does Ben, and he tends to take Sundays off also. So I don't know what we're gonna do today. Ben?
Yes.
What do you want to do today?
Watch Game of Thrones?
That's actually a really good idea. We've got all day.
Yeah, I can catch up quite a bit.
I wonder if we can, like, we'll definitely finish the season we're on. We're on season 6, we've only got 4 episodes left.
Yeah, we should be able to finish that.
Woohoo!